A year ago, I won $250,000 on a scratch-off, and no one knows but my wife. I still owe my brother $5,000. I bought the ticket with my best friend. I think I'm losing sleep over all of it. All right. I don't know where else to get this off my chest. I made a decision last year that I still haven't come to terms with. Last April, I bought a $30 scratch-off ticket on a whim at a gas station with my best friend Nate. We'd just grabbed fast food and filled up my car. I almost never buy lottery stuff, but I was riding a weird high that day. Things were finally stable with my wife. We were talking about having a second kid, and for once, I wasn't flat broke. So I grabbed the ticket, scratched it with a quarter in Nate's truck, and froze. I didn't scream. I didn't even smile. It said I won $250,000. I showed Nate while saying, "Wait, this can't be real." He laughed, said no fucking way, and looked it over. He said we should go straight to the lottery office and check. But then something happened. As we drove, I started feeling weird, possessive, defensive, like something was being taken from me. I bought the ticket. I scratched it. He was just there. Was it ours or mine? He joked about splitting it 50-50 like bros, and while he laughed, I didn't. I just nodded. I went into the lottery office alone, told him to wait outside because it was one person per claim. That part was true, but I didn't tell him I was going to claim it as just mine. I did. Taxes took a chunk, but I still walked out of there knowing a wire transfer was coming for about $167,000 after state and federal taxes. That was the day I became a secret rich man in a poor man's disguise. The first thing I did was tell my wife. She was shocked, cried, hugged me. We were both stressed at the time, rent, daycare, student loans. She made me swear we'd tell no one, not even our parents. I didn't even tell Nate. That's the part I still wrestle with. Nate's not wealthy. He works construction. He's had rough years, divorce, losing his dad, bad credit. And yeah, he has a history of being financially irresponsible, but he's been my best friend since we were 12. I've stayed on his couch. He helped me move 3 times. We almost died in a car together once. And I ghosted him after the win. Not totally. I just distanced myself, made excuses. He still texts, we still hang out, but it's not the same. I think he suspects, or maybe he just thinks I got sick of him. I used the money quietly, paid off our car, cleared out 2 credit cards, started an emergency fund, invested some in a robo-advisor account, put some in a college fund for our daughter, took my wife to Costa Rica for a bonus from work that was totally made up. Nobody noticed except my brother. Now here's where things get heavy. My brother Mike is 5 years older, works 2 jobs, warehouse and food delivery. He's got 3 kids, a beat-up Toyota, and a pile of bills. About 2 years ago, I borrowed $5,000 from him when my wife had complications with her pregnancy and we had no insurance. He gave it to me without hesitation, said, "Pay me back when you can, no interest, no pressure." He's never asked for it back, not once. But I know he needs it. I've seen the GoFundMe my sister-in-law made for new school clothes last fall. I've seen him wear the same boots for 2 years with the sole half off. And I haven't given it back. Because the second I do, he'll know I came into money. And then the questions will start. Why now? Where did it come from? Why not earlier? So I freeze. Every time I see him, I freeze. He came over to fix my garage door last month. Sweating in the sun, scraped up his knuckles. I offered him water. You know what he said? "You don't have to pay me, bro. Just remember I got you when you hit the jackpot someday." My stomach dropped. Did he know? And then there's my sister Jen. She's been in prison for 8 months. Caught laundering money for her boyfriend through a fake business account. He flipped on her and she's doing 3 years. Growing up, she was the golden child. Straight A's, scholarships, perfect smile. But something cracked in her 20s. Drugs, toxic relationships, fast cash. I distanced myself. And then she wrote me a letter last month. Said she was trying to get her sentence reduced by doing prison classes and working in the kitchen. Said she'd love to get out and start over. She didn't ask for money. But it was there. In the tone. In the way she said, "I just need one break in this life. Just one." I cried after reading it. Because I could help her. I could hire her a better lawyer, or at least get her a damn good set of clothes and housing when she's out. But if I do, the secret unravels. So now I'm sitting here a year later with about $90,000 left. I've touched less than half. It's enough to change lives in my family, but if I open that door, then everyone wants a piece. Then Nate finds out. Then my brother wants answers. Then my sister thinks I chose to leave her behind. It'll all come out, and I don't think I'm ready for that. My wife says it's our emergency security, that we shouldn't feel bad, that life finally gave us a break. But every time I look at my family, I feel like I'm lying. My brother's boots, my sister's cell, Nate's voice when he asks if I'm doing okay, and I say, yeah, just busy with work. It's like I won guilt money. So here I am, an anonymous guy on Reddit, telling strangers something I haven't told my own blood. I don't know what I'm asking for. Forgiveness, validation, a push to do what's right. I just know that when I dream about that ticket, it always ends with someone finding out, and me being alone. If you made it this far, thanks for reading. I'm still figuring it out, but writing this helped. And maybe someday I'll find the courage to do what I should have done from the start. Update: a few people messaged me asking about my brother Mike and how Jen ended up in her situation. So here is the gist of it. Growing up, she was the overachiever. Straight A report cards magneted to the fridge, science fair ribbons, debate club president, scholarships to 3 different colleges. My parents bragged about her to everyone. Jennifer's going to be a lawyer. Jennifer's going to run the world. And she almost did. She got into a solid state university on a full ride and majored in business. Interned at a financial firm her junior year. Had a job lined up before graduation. She used to come home with her hair up, wearing little gray blazers, talking about portfolios and compliance while I was still washing dishes at Applebee's. She was ambitious and sharp, but that ambition came with a chip on her shoulder. She hated being broke, hated the grind, hated how our parents struggled and always seemed a step behind everyone else. After college, she dated a guy named Darren, flashier than any of us liked, drove a leased BMW, wore Rolex knockoffs, always had cash in hand. He said he ran events and luxury logistics, but that was code for low-level organized crime. We found out later he ran a fake event company that helped launder money from drugs, gambling, and fraud. Jen knew. I think deep down she always knew. But she liked the lifestyle. The dinners, the clubs, the idea that she was finally above the paycheck-to-paycheck life we all grew up in. At first, it was little things, just helping Darren set up QuickBooks, just letting him use her bank account for a vendor payment. Then it got deeper. She incorporated an LLC in her name, let him funnel money through it, signed tax forms, took a cut. She kept justifying it. It's temporary. Everyone does this stuff if you look hard enough. It's just business. Then one of his deals got flagged. The feds opened an investigation. Darren flipped almost immediately to save himself. Told them Jen did the paperwork, opened the accounts, moved the money. She got arrested at her apartment with $38 in her checking account and 3 overdraft fees pending. I remember the call. She didn't cry, she just said, "I messed up bad this time. I don't think I can talk my way out." She took a plea deal. 3 years for money laundering and wire fraud. She's 8 months in now at a state facility 2 hours away. And here's the thing that hits hardest. She writes me every couple weeks. No complaints, no sob stories, just little updates. Things like I'm reading again, or I'm tutoring another girl for her GED. She's trying. She's not proud, but she's not bitter either. She says the hardest part is thinking no one will ever trust her again, that no matter how smart she is or how much she changes, she'll always be the felon. And that's what wrecks me. Because I could help her. I could use part of that lottery money to get her a better reentry program, a lawyer to revisit parts of the case, or even just put aside something for when she gets out, a safety net, so she doesn't have to go back to men like Darren. But I've done nothing, just read the letters, just nod and cry in my car after. So yeah, she ended up in prison because she wanted to escape the same kind of struggle I've now escaped by sheer dumb luck. and I'm sitting here with a secret bank account while she eats off a plastic tray and sleeps under a wool blanket. How's that for irony? Anyway, as for Mike, he's always been a stand-up guy. He was the one who held everything together, even when nobody asked him to. He never left town, never chased dreams beyond his reach. He stayed in the same city they grew up in, working first at a car parts warehouse, then at a local HVAC company, and finally, after years of crawling through attics and fixing busted furnaces in the dead of winter, he opened his own heating and air business. It was small, just him, a van, and one apprentice. He kept his rates fair and lived off referrals. He built a good reputation in the community, but it never made him rich. When the economy dipped, so did the calls. When COVID hit, he lost nearly 6 months of steady work and took on debt just to stay afloat. Mike's married to a woman named Lena, who works as a nurse's aide. They have 3 kids, 2 boys in elementary school, and a teenage daughter who just got her first job at Dairy Queen. Their house is modest. Mike drives a dented Dodge pickup. He built the back deck himself with leftover lumber he got from a neighbor. Every holiday, he grills burgers and tries to make everyone laugh, even when his eyes look tired. But he's not bitter. That's the strange thing. He's just steady. Even after Jen got arrested, he drove Mom to visit her in county jail. Even after I still hadn't paid back the $5,000 Mike loaned me 2 years ago, when he got laid off and his second kid needed dental surgery, Mike never brings it up unless it's just a quiet, "Hey, any chance you can send something this month?" That loan, by the way, was never about the money. It was about trust, about believing his brother would do the right thing if he could. Mike doesn't know I won $250,000 on a scratch-off ticket. All he knows is that the last few years have been hard, and the only thing that helped keep his family's head above water was the idea that they had each other's backs. Now, I'm sitting here with a check that could make things easier, pay off Mike's debt, maybe help his business upgrade tools, or let him take his family on their first vacation in years. And I'm wrestling with whether Mike deserves a cut when he wasn't there for the winning moment. And that's where the emotional guilt creeps in. Because Mike has always been there. When my first car broke down in college, Mike showed up with jumper cables. When I didn't have money for rent during the pandemic, Mike wired the cash without a lecture. When Jen got sentenced, Mike was the only one who said, "She needs us more now than ever." He's not flashy, he's not a saint, but he's family. And the $5,000 is more than a number. It's a quiet, unspoken symbol of trust that's slowly corroding with each month of silence. A few weeks ago, I went out to visit Mike. He was out back, bent over a grill that had definitely seen better days. One of the burners clicked out every few seconds, and he kept fiddling with it, mumbling curses under his breath. I asked him if he needed a hand. He looked up, grinned. "Nah, just fighting the usual battle with old Sparky here. You want a beer?" He grabbed 2 from the cooler and handed me one. His hands were cracked and stained, grease under the fingernails, knuckles dry and scraped, the kind of hands that worked for everything. We didn't say much for a while, just stood there sipping and listening to the sizzle of cheap hot dogs and burgers. "You still at the accounting firm?" he finally asked. "Yeah, same stuff, tax season gearing up soon, so fun times." He nodded. "Must be nice working inside, heat, no dead squirrels in vents." I laughed, but it came out hollow. Perks of the trade. His daughter came out to ask for $5 to go to the gas station with her friends. Mike handed it over without hesitation. "Man, when did she get so grown up?" I asked. "Tell me about it. She's already got a savings jar for a car, probably more disciplined than I am." Something about that hit me in the chest. I changed the subject. "You still thinking about expanding the business? Getting a second van?" He sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "I'd love to, but between the truck needing a new transmission and Lena's hours getting cut, who knows, just trying to keep our heads above water." There it was, the moment I should have told him. I had $90,000 sitting in a savings account. The debt he was carrying, I could erase it, buy him a new van, take pressure off his marriage, hell, pay for his daughter's first car. but the words caught in my throat. So I reached out my hand and gave him a check for $10K. It felt like opening Pandora's box. And then the question came, where did the money come from? I told him about the scratch-off ticket, the one I bought with my buddy. And suddenly the gift didn't feel like generosity. It felt like guilt, like a cover-up, like blood money. Mike pulled the burgers off the grill and handed me a paper plate. Still like yours burnt, brother? Yeah, I said quietly, thanks. I always knew you would have my back, he said. We sat on the porch steps, eating like we were kids again. The silence between us wasn't awkward. It was familiar, comfortable. The kind you only get with someone who's seen every version of you and still keeps handing you a beer. And that made it worse, because I didn't feel like I deserved his loyalty anymore. But I had it, because at the end of the day, he was always going to be my big brother Mike.